You lost weight, gained a baby. Yes, that's how that works.
Lost my placenta and all the extraness.
Yeah.
Contractions had started, and it got to the point where I was like, I think I can sleep through these.
Which is a weird thought to have,
Yes.
right? When you've got like pain that might be birthing pain, and you're like, all right, I'm gauging I can probably be unconscious
Yeah.
during these.
Which
also
is
stupid.
Only a thing I think a woman can say.
Oh no, on a good day you were laboring for like 4 hours. On a rough day you were laboring for like 8, 9, 10 hours. And the exercises, walking, curb walking, bird dogs, everything. You're doing so many different exercises.
Yeah.
And that's when I should have looked at the resident and been like, you go home now.
Yep.
When you're 4 centimeters off of the dilation.
I've never checked one, but
Doesn't
I know
matter.
it's like based off of finger size and everything, but I was looking at her hands. I'm like, you got smaller hands.
You were looking for any excuse for this to be remotely okay, and it wasn't, other than the fact she's just not a good student. So, you failed. Go sit in the corner and color until we're done. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Two Tired Parents podcast. I'm Myles Wepper.
I'm Heather Weber.
And yeah, every time it seems like now
We're exhilarated.
We are so not tired. We are the furthest from tired. Oh no, my coffee's over there. I'm gonna walk off camera. That's how tired we are. For those of you listening, you're like, what's going on? For those of you watching, where did he go? He went to go get his coffee that's labeled with a logo, and I do not care.
I poured mine in a cup.
We found new types of tired since we've last checked in. People watching are going to see you and go like, oh, she looks like
Thinner?
smaller. There's less of her.
Less swollen?
Yeah. You lost a little bit of weight recently.
I mean, yeah, 22 pounds. Who's counting?
You?
Yeah.
Because you knew 22? That's a very specific number. Yeah. If you were like 20, I'd be like, okay, that's like, counting by 5s or 10s.
Well,
But
I think
22 is specific.
I originally weighed myself just because you're always curious after you have a baby, like where things go. And then with my health being what it's been the last 2 weeks, I'm like, just in case this is an extra symptom to throw to the board.
Yeah.
Let's keep track of that too.
Let's see what sticks.
So that is why I know it's 22.
22 pounds, because baby.
Baby.
You lost weight, gained a baby. Yes, that's how that works.
Lost my placenta and all the extraness.
Yeah. That's why we've been running behind on.
Yes.
I mean, like we've been running behind on podcasts because like the 1st of September we moved, and then the 17th of September is when things happened.
Yes, but those 2 weeks prior, I was laboring almost every day.
You labored for a good 3 to 4 weeks solid, I would say, and I mean like. What are we, for those who are not as educated, the men, the penis owners, specifically, almost exclusively, pretty much exclusively. When you say laboring, you mean we are experiencing contractions that are within close proximity of one another. They are within 5 to 10 minutes apart.
Yeah, I don't think.
Sometimes closer.
Yeah. I mean, closer is when it was actually time to go. And that was, I think, the thing that we were like, okay, this is different.
No, that's not the thing that was different for me.
Okay. Well, for me, it was different because all the other times we would like start counting the contractions because you have to figure out if they're not Braxton Hicks, which Braxton Hicks you can't really count. Like there's no, words are hard.
Braxton Hicks contractions are kind of like you're feeling what feels like labor contractions, but
they're
it's
practice.
not. They're practice contractions.
But you can't time them. And that was, I think, the hard part is with those 2 weeks is it did get to a point where they were like, starting off 10 minutes apart. And then they get to 9, 8. And they would work their way up to 5 and then stop.
Yes, they would. They would. For a while.
Yeah.
They work their way up to 5, be 5 for an hour or two, and then... Yeah, we kept calling the doula. We kept calling our friends.
Labor and delivery.
Because anytime it was time for what we thought was showtime, we have a list of like 10 friends.
Yeah. because we have no like available family.
No
in the
available,
area.
yeah, no available family in the area to help us out. And so we would have to go down the line, text those 10 friends, hey, this is what's going on. I made sure not to include them in a group chat because I didn't want everybody's phones blowing up. So I'm copying, pasting 10 different messages to send out to our friends.
I like that one of them you accidentally sent to our doula. Like, what's your availability in the next 48
I know,
hours?
right?
With us.
And she's
with
like,
us.
yeah, she's like, yeah, I'm coming. Like, I can actually, and I'm like, I know, I'm just copying it. I'm trying to save time here. So yeah, so I'm copying and pasting, messaging everybody, finding out what everybody's availability is for like the next 48 hours. And then just letting them know you're first on the labor list to help us. You're second, you're third. And so that way everybody's all categorized. I knew that we were looking like you needed to go in because you made noises. That's basically how I knew. I was like, oh, she's like, ah. And I was like, oh, okay, we got to go. Because your pain tolerance is dumb.
Yeah.
It's very stupid.
Yeah.
And so most of these contractions, you're just like, just breathing through.
It's weird to be like, this is what we play for. But I mean,
is.
That's,
It is.
That was when we decided, I mean, when I decided I was going to do an unmedicated
You decided
birth.
and I nodded.
When I decided I was going to do an unmedicated birth, I wanted this time to be, good job,
Thanks.
so different.
I spilled. That's what happened. That's what the good job was. She wasn't genuinely trying to congratulate me for anybody listening.
And so, because I feel like with our son, our first,
Yeah.
also it being during the pandemic, there wasn't as many resources available to us.
True.
Where this time I was like, okay, I want to make sure I'm doing my due diligence and like learning, because whether you decide or not to have an unmedicated birth, because not everybody gets the luxury to decide.
Yeah.
Some people just show up and they're like, you don't have time to get an epidural, let's go.
Let's go.
And so I think even for those people that want an epidural, you should always do your educate yourself on breathing, hypnobirthing. And that was really what I dove into this pregnancy. Like, I'd fall asleep listening to hypnobirthing meditations. I'd work with our doula, especially on like breathing and how to push and everything. And so it was something I trained for besides just like fitness wise of everything else. And so when it came time to it, it was a weird place even that morning to be, because I told a couple of our friends when I woke up at 12:30 that morning and went to the bathroom, contractions had started, and it got to the point where I was like, I think I can sleep through these.
Which is a weird thought to have,
Yes.
right? When you've got like pain that might be birthing pain and you're like, all right, I'm gauging I can probably be unconscious
Yeah.
during these.
Which
also
is
stupid.
Only a thing I think a woman can say.
Oh, no, there's no man in any type of pain that's like, I guess I'll just nap through. No. It's, what are we doing? Someone call the police.
Yeah.
My insides are being
Yeah.
taken over by something against my will. So, yeah.
Well, and also I think because the 2 weeks prior, it was when I went to lay down and rest that like the contractions would stop.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, if this is the real deal, it'll keep going.
Yeah.
And if it's not, then it'll stop.
And also showers. You kept popping in the shower and you would do a shower. And if there were contractions that lasted beyond that shower, it was like, all right, this is different. So we're grasping at straws because 3-4 weeks, that's a long time to labor.
Yeah.
For anybody who is confused about it.
Yeah.
It is a long time to labor. And so, and it was just it was so hard. It was felt impossible around here because, I mean, we're trying to get unpacked and do it, or like pack and go. Like we were packing and moving and you were like going through contractions and we were going in and out of the hospital and they're like, not yet. And so, God bless our friend. Shout out to Renee. She came over so much. To just and sometimes in the middle of the night, sometimes at like 3 or 4 in the morning.
That slept with their ringer on. Shout out.
Oh, doing the Lord's work. God
Yeah.
bless y'all, man. That was so clutch. Like we have no concept of what would have happened if we didn't have that.
I mean, we had an idea because when it was time to go, so the contractions woke me up at 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Just pulled me out of a dead sleep.
Yeah.
And went to the bathroom, and I was like, "Oh, things are happening down there."
That was like 2 in the morning,
2 in the
and then
morning.
like 3 in the morning, you hollered for me.
No, that was when I hollered for you. I was like, "Hey," because that's when it was pink when I wiped.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
This whole thing is TMI.
Yeah.
I don't know if you thought us talking about like birthing a child. Like, maybe they're gonna like G it up. No, we're not G rating this. This is there are going to be details shared.
Yeah.
That you might not be able to get out of your head, or you could imagine some cartoony version of it. You know, I mean.
But so yeah, that's when I hollered for you, and I was like, I think you should be awake now. Yeah. And we went out to the living room, sat on the birthing ball, which, man, I am so glad I haven't sat on that thing for 2 weeks.
You haven't, yeah. Because you, for a good month, were just sitting on that exercise ball.
On that ball.
Just living on that ball. And not still. You're like on there and like gyrating and breathing. And that was the most comfortable position for you, is gyrating your hips on this birthing ball, not sitting still.
Yeah.
Like actively. You did more exercising in that 3-week span, like for hours. On a good day, you were laboring for like 4 hours. On a rough day, you were laboring for like 8, 9, 10 hours. And exercises, walking, curb walking, bird dogs, everything. You're doing so many different exercises.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm exhausted watching this, like eating snacks.
Exhausting.
This is very exhausting.
Well, and I think that's also when it was the false alarms where I'm like, I'm going to bed. Like, I'm so tired. And if this is the real deal at some point soon, I need to have energy to deliver a baby.
Absolutely.
And that's where I will say, like, let's reach it.
Reach for the book.
Which we had her on.
We had Gina
on.
Yes.
But truly.
Gina Connolly.
Yes. I mean, and I got the book, I think, my first trimester. And it's an amazing book just because it goes through each trimester of, like, things to work on. But the section when it's talking about, like, getting the baby to engage in the pelvis and, like, what to do during labor, that was part of it, was whatever you can be in tune with your body, you'll know like which way to shift your hips, because that's what will feel the most comfortable for you, and that will get the baby through, because there's 3 different parts of the pelvic outlet that it engages in before it comes out. And so reading that, I was like, okay, I can tune into my body, figure out what feels the best, and then I'm just doing that until the next thing happens. Best book. And now I'm going to start it today because there's the postpartum section of doing pelvic floor exercises.
There you go. There you go.
But so in that was a good chunk of what I was doing on the ball was like, all right, what's this say? All right, let's figure out where she is in my pelvis.
Yes.
And so it was, excuse me, can't recommend it enough.
Shout out to Gina Connolly. And
Mama Stay Fit.
Mama Stay Fit.
Yeah.
The book, which is Training for Two.
Training for Two.
Make sure you pick it up if you are...
or if you know anybody pregnant, gift it to them.
I'm saying, you know a pregnant person, gift it to them, because that's a dynamite gift, because, you ended up using that book a whole lot. So, September 17th, which was like kind of the magic day, right? Because in April, we told Robin, hey, you're going to get a baby sister.
Yes.
Because we did the video that everybody can go see on my social media, where we revealed to him, like, you're going to have a baby sister. But first we asked him, what have you been asking for the last year? And he's like, puzzles. And it's like, read the room, kid. So you've been asking for a sister, you're having a sister. But we asked him, what day in September do you think that she's coming? To which he said 17th. And we had just chopped it up to, well, his birthday is December 17th. So he's just saying... and the number he knows.
Yep.
Lo and behold, 3 a.m, you holler at me on September 17th, hey, I think we got to get ready. And so we're up. We are trying to call my friend, and goes to voicemail. I'm like, okay, we might have to wake Robin up and take him with us, and just have somebody meet us at the hospital, have the doula chill with him in the waiting room until we can get into the actual room, and then we'll see what happens and go from there. So that was like our backup plan. And eventually, I want to say 4:30 in the morning is when Renee answered, 4 in the morning, because she got here close to 5 in the morning. And then I just started getting everything at the house ready for people who were going to have to run the show from our house.
The other thing that you leave out of these details is anytime somebody came over early in the morning, we have the worst dogs of all time.
We do indeed have the worst dogs of all time.
Probably not, but by our standards.
By our standards of not shutting the fuck up. And I almost said hell up, but I mean shut the fuck up. Like, these damn dogs. will not stop. So yeah,
woke our son up.
woke him up.
And he came out of his room.
Like 4,
Which, if you've
45.
never had contractions at this point, because around this time they're about 3 to 4 minutes apart.
They're getting closer.
Way more intense. And if you've never had to have a conversation with a 3.5-year-old while you are having a contraction, I don't recommend it.
Do not. Yeah. 2 stars. 2 stars. It was not good.
So hard.
Bad appetizers.
So hard.
No good service. It's not good.
Yeah.
So yeah, having to have that conversation with him, and then we're like, you should really go back to bed because the sun's not up yet. And he's like, no, I'm staying up because Renee's here.
Yep.
And I'm like, okay, you asshole. But go right ahead. And then I got everything ready, and so we take off to meet our doula at the hospital. She ended up getting there a little late because we were in like the regular room.
Well,
like
we got it
delivery
put
room
into
when she got-
triage, but because we got there
Got there at
during
7.
a shift change,
Yes.
and that's what took everything, because that's why it took longer to check everything down there.
Yeah.
Was because it was during a shift change, and so I'm just chilling, hooked up to monitors.
Just hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah, as we hear the from the heartbeat. And so we're in there at 7, we're in triage, and then the doctor comes in with a student.
Resident student,
A resident student. So they're like, hey, is it cool if she hangs out here and like does stuff with us this morning? We should have said maybe.
Yeah.
Like, maybe is the nice thing to say. Yes.
There's
is
times where I wish I wasn't a people pleaser, and that was one of the times.
That was a moment. Like, if you were watching or listening and you were pregnant and you go in for the day of your delivery and they ask, is it okay if a student hangs out in here? Your response is no. That's what you say.
Well, and I completely understand everybody's got to get their hours, and you do, but
Not us. Like, don't let it be you. Let it be some other dum-dum who doesn't listen to this podcast. Those idiots deserve what they get. Don't you dare for a second allow the student to do anything. Don't allow the student to sit in the corner and play music. That's not even okay.
Trust your gut.
Trust your gut. Trust your gut. Because the doctor was like, is it cool if the student does things? And we were like, yeah, I guess. We're tired. There's a lot going on. You know, questions being asked in this time are very touch and go.
Yeah.
And so we say yes. And then the doctor checks your cervix to see how dilated
she's
you
like,
are.
so I'm going to check your cervix, and then the student's going to check it. I'm not going to give the number because I don't want to have any influence on her number.
Yes.
And so the doctor does her thing.
And she gets steps aside.
Yep.
The student comes in, does her check.
Which also, being gifted, men will never understand what a cervical check feels like.
No.
It is not comfortable. That also being said, for whatever reason, my cervix was to the right. And so I felt like I had to guide in a plane.
Yeah,
every time I got a cervical
when they kept saying
check.
that, I'm like, that's how little I understand vaginas. Is I'm just like, what do you mean to the right? Yeah. How is it banking right?
Well, and it got to the point because I had so many cervical checks that I would be like, you're not there. Like, and I'd have to say, like, it's to the right.
And, well, do you think it's scoliosis? Like, I mean, that's why things...
I don't know, because I wasn't checked with Robin.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe if there's a doctor listening, you can tell me.
Probably sound off in the comments if you're a doctor and you know the reason why her cervix would be off to the right.
Yeah.
But she does have scoliosis.
So yeah, it felt like I had to like guide a plane in every time.
Land this way. We're going to the right. That's not it. Nope. That's another thing. And so the doctor does hers, steps aside. The student comes in. She does hers, and like winces. She was wearing a mask and looked so unsure.
Yeah.
Like very unsure.
Yeah.
And the resident goes, 1? And we in our head are thinking,
No.
Bitch, get the fuck out of here.
No.
Because
No,
if
there's
she
no
is
way
1
I'm not
centimeter dilated with all of this, we're kicking. Someone's getting stone cold stunnered. I'm not even pretending.
go home.
We're not going home unless someone's getting a bunch of stunners and then people are throwing me beers from across the ring. Okay? And so she goes, 1. The doctor says she's 5 centimeters dilated.
Where's she staying?
She's staying. And that's when I should have looked at the resident and been like, you go home now.
Yep.
When you're 4 centimeters off, of the dilation.
I've never checked one, but
Doesn't
I know
matter.
it's like based off of finger size and everything. But I was looking at her hands. I'm like, you got smaller hands.
You were looking for any excuse for this to be remotely okay, and it wasn't, other than the fact she's just not a good student. So you failed. Go sit in the corner and color until we're done. You don't get to do things today anymore when you think she's only 1 centimeter. The difference between 1 centimeter dilated and 5 centimeters dilated is literally the difference between you being sent home and kept.
Yes.
And if you got sent home, we would have had the baby in the car.
Yes.
Because that was around 8:30, 8:45 when they did that. And then they're like, let's get you in the delivery room. We get into the delivery room around
Mind you,
9.
I walked into the hospital, so I didn't wheel. I walked from the car.
And we did not know how few steps you had in the tank before this happened.
So I walked
We were
into the
playing with
hospital.
fate and did not know it.
And then I walked from triage to the room we got admitted to.
Yes.
So I was never in a wheelchair.
She walked with like her arm around my shoulder. Like I was standing right. I wasn't like carrying the bag 10 feet ahead of her. Like, come on, move, shake a leg, lady. Like I was right next to her.
Lady. Which you did say during
I
labor.
did say, do it, lady.
I was
did
just
say.
too in a different zone to acknowledge you.
That's
But I
okay.
do remember you saying
Hey, you acknowledge it now. That matters to me. I feel seen and heard. Thank you.
I had a lot of funny thoughts during contractions that I
good.
just couldn't.
Verbalize?
No.
Weird.
No.
So you walk a few steps down to the labor and delivery room because it was just a
Yeah,
hand.
we were like one of the first rooms.
Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 doors down from the triage room we were in, so it was not far. And then the doula gets there, and you took one lap to the door in the labor and delivery room, back to the bed, and then you
Also tried to pee.
You tried to pee and
'Cause I
nothing
thought for
happened
sure I
because
had
you were
to
like,
pee.
I really have to pee. And then there was nothing. And then you took another lap to the side of the bed and then to the front of the bed. And that's where I was. And you were like, I got to stop right here. And so I was standing in front of you. The doula was behind you. And she's like trying to put pressure like on
The
parts
counter
of
pressure on my hips,
counter
yeah.
pressure on your hips. And then you're at 9:55 in the morning. You're like, my water's breaking.
Oh, it wasn't. It broke.
It straight up broke, y'all. Like, whoosh,
I will
she's standing.
say it was cool that it did happen like in the movies. It's not always going to happen.
It's not always going to happen like in the movies.
Please understand that. Also helped because I was in a hospital gown and no underwear.
That is a
so
fact.
there was nothing to catch.
Nothing to catch it. So all over the floor, and my shoes.
And my socks.
And your socks. That's important information. Definitely got all up in her socks that she was wearing, the hospital socks with the grip.
I will pause. What is also important for anybody pregnant, thinking about having babies, know somebody. If you're the partner of somebody pregnant, before we started doing the laboring in the room, I was able to talk to the nurse when she was getting things set up. Also, very important conversation that we had because there was no time later.
Oh, yeah.
It was when we were going over like birth plan stuff. They knew I wanted to be unmedicated, which it's also funny because, you know, I think most doctors and nurses are like, yeah, sure you do.
Yeah.
And so that was a conversation, but also it was a very important thing for me that I wanted to push on my side.
Yeah.
Because of a tailbone injury I got from giving birth to our first.
On your back. Yeah.
It was really important for me to push on my side. And so
Yes.
I was glad I got to tell her that.
Yeah.
Because she was like, okay, yeah, we can talk more about it later. Fast forward, there was no later.
Fast forward, there was no later. And that is a nurse who you were impressing.
Yes.
Because like the nurse is like beforehand, she's looking at the contractions and then she looks at me like, your wife is a badass because these are not your mama's contractions that she's experiencing right now. And she's just breathing through these with very minimal wincing. Like your wife's a genie. And I'm like, I know this to be fact. So welcome to the Black Parade where we all know this information now. And so you were impressing her. And then, yeah, you told her, I want to push on my side. She's like, thanks for letting me know. We'll talk more about that later. Later never came because once your water broke,
Yeah.
literally after that, you were like, I have to start pushing now.
Yeah.
And started making your way over to the bed. And I'm like, okay, let's get everybody in here. And so then the whole party bus unloaded.
I don't even know how many people were there.
There was, I want to say 6 to 8.
Yeah, there was a lot of people.
lot
But
of
I
people came in.
also was told afterwards, not even everybody needed to be in there. It was more like, oh, it's an unmedicated birth, and it is
You were a spectacle. Yeah, you were Shawn Michaels coming down at WrestleMania from the rafters.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Like You were just, we got to see it. We got to get front row seats to this unmedicated birth because we just don't see that.
Well, and that's
ever.
what we were told after, and I think they made sure to say it afterwards.
Yeah.
But it was like, 98% of the hospital births they see are medicated.
So, and that's a statistic that was guessed by the nurse and at the hospital we were at.
Yeah. Well, I know, like, at home, it's obviously a different thing. But, like, when you're looking at just the hospital birth.
Yeah.
Their hospital birth statistic. That's what they were saying.
And so,
which is crazy.
So everybody comes in, and so birth with our son, you had the epidural. Mm-hmm. That was a whole process. Eventually, after 21 hours of laboring and 3 hours of pushing, they had to turn the epidural off so that way you could feel things.
Well, yeah, I mean, we got to like hour 16 before I got the epidural.
Yes.
And then they turned it off like the first hour or so of pushing.
Yeah. And so seeing like that birth process, the doctor's like traditionally down in the position that you see on TV. Mm-hmm. Down there, coaching, this is what you're doing, do the more push, don't push, we're going to do this. And so they're like down in position coaching. Whereas the doctors come in when you're laying on your side and you're like, let's do.
Well, and even the nurse came in like, wait, she wants to push on her side. And so she got the proper thing to rest my leg.
To rest your leg, yeah. She put the stirrup on the side.
I'm so glad she came in because I was not in a place to be like, wait.
Yeah. Yeah, your leg needed to be on the stirrup in a certain position in order for us to get you to side push and me to support your foot, which was soaked in goo that I just touched my hand to and just put my hand on their side. I'm like, all right, yeah, push your wet foot all over my hand. And that's how we know that there's love there. So the doctors come in and they're not in that position. No. When you're doing an unmedicated birth,
across the room.
They're hanging out to the side, just like peeping, like, you know, like a drug dealer trying to check out the kids getting out of school. Like, all right, that one, maybe not that. Like, they're just off to the side, hanging out next to the table with all the scissors on it. And just, you're doing great. You got this. Ain't no thing. Almost. Keep pushing. And so they're up, standing off to the side just in case something goes awry. And then there's like plastic they've got in front of you to catch the baby when...
Well, and the placenta and everything else.
And the placenta and everything else that comes out with it, yes. But there's just plastic right there in front of you. And so you're pushing, doing the dang thing. So 9:55, water breaks, 10:19.
Daughter's born.
Daughter's born, baby out. That thing it fell out of you at that point. Once you got the head out, it was like, all right, shoulders and body are a piece of cake.
It was truly the craziest thing, just going from my water breaking to, and like even you said, like when I got on the table, like, oh yeah, you're crowning.
Yeah, the head was right there.
And for people that don't know what crowning is, head's there.
Head's totally
ready
there.
to go.
Absolutely.
And that was one of the things, is not our original nurse, but a nurse that came in when everybody was getting situated. She's like, don't push. I'm like, bitch, that's not an option.
That's not an option because she's right there. Like,
don't push is the weirdest thing you can say. I get it, but not an option.
But because the time it took for your water break, the baby coming out, like if we had, because with Robin, your water broke at home.
Yeah.
And then we went to the hospital. That we would have given birth in the parking lot of Kaiser.
100%. If we waited for my water break even at home, it would have happened here. Yeah,
easily. Because you wouldn't have, you'd have been like, we can't go because I need to push right now. So we're not going.
And that's
so we
where,
would have
like,
just given birth at home at that point.
So important. And I know, like, I've talked to guys that have written it off too, where it's like, I'm not timing contractions. Time your contractions.
Time the contractions.
Time your contractions.
Storky.
Download the app, Storky.
Storky is the app. Download the Storky app. Time those contractions, because the Storky app will notify you and go, you are in active labor, you should consider going to the hospital.
Yeah.
They let you know when. But time those contractions, because when those contractions are getting a couple minutes apart, you better get your happy ass into the hospital.
Don't wait for water to break. Don't wait for something, like, time your contractions. It is so important.
Oh, it was immediate.
Yeah.
It was instant. I was like, this is incredible. This is the quick sticks delivery. I love this.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, for all that was worth, you did scream louder than I've ever heard you scream. But I mean, you were unmedicated pushing out a baby.
I mean, and the thing is,
they clapped for you when they were done. Like, you did it. They were like, oh man, there we go. What a sight to see.
Well, it's so weird on a lot of fronts. And that was one of the other funny thoughts that I had, was because I was thinking of our labor and delivery tour that we took.
Yeah.
And in that, you don't have the mic.
I know.
Okay.
It was just for
I'm like, wait, I've been around this enough.
You have. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's such a turn on when you're like, why are you not talking into the microphone?
Yeah. And so in that group, we were the only ones that already had a kid. Everybody else was first time
Everybody else
parents.
was the first time, yeah.
And when we were
the
walking
vets.
through, the woman who was giving us the tour stopped and was like, hey, just so you're aware, we're walking through labor and delivery. You might hear things.
Yeah.
And one of the soon-to-be dads, who did not deserve a gold star that day.
He did not.
Was like, you mean I'm going to hear something? We might hear something?
Is it going to smell? Isn't that what he's
Yeah. Like... Are you gonna? Yeah, you're gonna hear shit. You are walking through labor and delivery. Like, if you don't hear a woman giving birth, you're gonna hear a baby crying. Like, you're gonna hear people yelling. It's not labor and delivery is not quiet.
No.
So
It's not peaceful.
and I don't know what you're gonna smell, but
Yeah. What is the smell thing? That was so was so weird.
But and so while I was like in the middle of contractions, I think it was like maybe a couple yells in, I was like, I hope he's here.
Yeah.
In my head, I'm like, I hope he's here.
I hope he's walking by
Like-
with like snacks and ice chips for his wife.
Right? But yeah, it's so primal because I mean you have to, but also in like what I was saying, like this is what we play for, like in learning about how to properly push, which I don't like, no doctor ever taught me how to push. It was everything I looked up and talking to our doula. And especially in the movies, they tell you, you see, hold your breath while you push, which is counterproductive.
Yeah.
And your pelvis actually relaxes as you are exhaling or yelling, which is also part of like Mama Stay Fit's podcast that we were listening to of like, if you can release something, it will help everything relax.
Yeah.
And so that was part of it of like, fucking hurts.
Oh, yeah.
But also like, okay, this is me breathing. This is a way of I am exhaling. So that also really helped in like visualizing like, okay, she's dropping every time I exhale or yell. Also, and I think I told you after, considering the year we had, but I'd say the last 2 years we've had, to be able to just yell and have nobody tell me to shut the fuck up.
I mean, there have been so many instances this past couple of years where if you yelled, I would have been like, understood.
For sure. But I mean, like with Robin and like at our old house, it was a townhouse. Like we're still close to neighbors.
Yeah.
So this was nice to be like, let's take everything that has pissed me off in the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Plus everything I'm feeling right now and just,
Yeah.
And that's what
Let it
happened.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
That primal scream. Absolutely. Yeah. So the pushes, maybe like 10 pushes, baby pops out, and then you go skin to skin, we're bonding, and then here comes the resident. She's coming in
Y'all
again.
forgot about her.
Y'all forgot about that resident, didn't you? She comes in again, and so she's like, I'm going to try and stitch you up now.
Well, and they said it was like a very minimal.
Minimal tear, because with Robin, you had a
third
large
degree.
tear.
Third
You had a
degree.
third-degree tear, which is a very substantial
How
tear.
many stitches? Hella.
Hella stitches. Hella, not hella. Hella stitches. So lots of stitches. But that doctor in Vegas with Robin was like a pro. She was down there, stitched her up really quick in like 5-10 minutes. Might as well have been smoking a cigarette and changing oil. Like she was just like, all right, you're good. Call me in the morning and I'm going to be back in my office playing PlayStation.
Yep.
So she stitched you up real quick. The resident gets down there and they give you the numbing. And then you're like,
Well,
I
they
can
even
still...
said like just a couple stitches, like nothing crazy.
Nothing crazy, just a couple stitches. And then they numbed you, and then you're like, I can feel that still. And then they numbed you again. A few minutes goes by, and you're
I got
like,
numbed 3 times.
You got numbed 3 times.
Wow, but each time she would start to try and stitch, and that's when I'm like, hey, I can feel that.
Yeah.
Which while you like have your newborn, you're bonding with your spouse, like not an ideal situation to be in. Needless to say, it took longer to get stitched up than it did to push the baby out.
Which is not that she was down there so long. I'm like, don't come up without a hat or a blanket.
Crocheting something.
You better be crocheting something down there. Like you better. I finished 5 minutes ago. I'm just making a hat. Like I'm not accepting anything. You just coming up. And then the doctor had to tag her out a couple
so the
times.
OB came in, and so she finished the job. I was grateful for, and I think I even I thanked our doula profusely. But our doula, when the stitching started, after she got the photos of us, she did go to the foot of the bed and watch the stitching process.
Yes.
She told them, because she also is trying to become a midwife, but I think also she was like, this is taking a long time, but I don't want to tell you that, so I'm just going to be down there. And I mean, our doula really has become one of our good friends through this process.
She's great.
And so I knew like she had my back, and so I wasn't as worried about it. But yeah, super not ideal.
Not ideal.
No.
Not ideal. And that's when I should have sent that resident home.
Yeah.
So, but alas, we have Baby River.
We do.
She's
and
healthy.
One of the many perks of doing it unmedicated is we didn't have to stay as long.
We were out the next morning.
We were out the next morning, and we would have been out that night had there had been like a doctor that night.
Yeah.
So to like check her out and everything.
Yeah, we would have been out that night. But
so we were out that the next morning, which was fantastic because with our son, we were there for the 21 hours of laboring, and then 2 days after for delivery.
Yeah, we were there
because I had the epidural.
For most of that week, we were there.
Yeah.
And so it was great to just go in, and then like 24 hours later, we were out of there. So getting home, like we're doing the baby things.
We are.
You, though, have been going through all the postpartum everything.
Yeah.
Preeclampsia, right?
That's what
it's looking like.
right
We're
now.
still in the middle of this.
We don't
Yesterday,
know.
you had to go to the hospital because you lost a lot of blood and you fainted in the bedroom. And I was like, I gotta take you in immediately.
Yeah.
So luckily, a friend of ours was already here helping watch Robin, and so, but everything looks quote unquote normal and nothing.
Minus my EKGs, yeah.
Minus your EKGs, yeah.
So blood pressure high, heart rate low. We're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Today you're feeling decent.
I'm feeling good today.
Yeah.
I mean, energy feels good. I also, thanks to you, got to sleep a good chunk last night, which my body super needed.
Last night was a good night for both of us.
And also, like, our daughter did really well with sleep as well.
She's been very hit or miss sleeping at night, and last night was a good night because I would feed her, put her down. She stayed down for like 3 hours at a time for both times.
She also got her first bath last night,
She
which
got
I
her
feel
first
like
bath.
might have helped.
Getting like the lavender soap and everything with her. I think that helped a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, she did good last night, and in turn we both got to sleep. So we're both feeling good today. But yeah, you're feeling a lot better today than you have been, which is promising. But yeah, we've been in and out of the hospital pretty consistently, like almost every other day.
A lot of ER visits. It's never good when you go to the ER and it's the same doctor.
And the doctor's like, "Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Good to see you again. Not under these circumstances." So yeah, everybody knows us there. It's our Cheers bar.
Right.
So yeah, it's been a process that we've been desperately trying to get used to here. But I mean, overall, we're grateful that
very grateful.
River's
And I
here
mean,
and healthy.
Yes, River's here, healthy, adorable. Robin is loving Big Brother life.
He's loving
as
Big Brother
we knew
life.
He would. Obviously, it's going to come with pros and cons for him.
Of course.
He's learning to share time, but
Yes.
he's getting it. And I think even, what was it, the first or second night here when River was crying during him getting ready for bed, he's like, it's so loud. And
Yeah.
we're like, yeah.
Yeah. Welcome,
And
kiddo.
you still cry, sir. And I mean, but we were also like, Mommy and Daddy still cry. So like, you never stop crying.
never stop.
Just cry a little less sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's been a whole process, but he's been getting used to it as best as he possibly can. And we're just taking it as it comes,
Yeah.
taking it in stride as best we can here. But I think, do you have any like final thoughts on the whole process, top to bottom? I know you were giving advice throughout.
Yeah.
Anything you want to circle back
my
around
other
to?
notes will
or-
be for a different episode. But
Yeah.
I mean, I will say the few things in this one that I know that I've even said leading up to labor and delivery. If you can, get a doula.
Get a doula.
If your insurance covers it, great. If it doesn't, if there's a way you can still swing it. It sounds, and even we did it with our second and not our first, which I
Yeah.
feel like typically people maybe wouldn't do. That's not proper English. Anyway.
It's all good.
But it was really like, so like this one just felt completely different than the first as far as what I felt educated on, what I felt supported on. And that's not like a lack on your part, just especially if you already have a kid. There's so many other things that have to be done before labor and delivery that's on the spouse primarily.
Yep.
Where, like you said, you're texting our friends or whoever your support system is, but also you were catering to Robin and making sure things were done around the house and ready, and that he had like food, to get him
That's
through.
the thing.
And so-
Understand when there's a series of things that have to happen when it's showtime. and you need to make sure that you've got the labor and delivery plan down. You know what everybody wants, what everybody needs, and like, okay, when it happens, all right, first, who's taking care of here? What do we take care of here? Like, there needs to be like an order to things. Because in my head, it was like, all right, sound the alarm, get people in motion here, take care of Robin, get him set up for the day, and get the house set up, take care of the dogs. And then now it's like, all right, do we have the bags ready? We're ready.
Yeah.
Like, so.
But so having the doula there, I felt like, especially when she was there and when we labored here, when we thought it was the real deal, really took a lot off of your shoulders.
Yes.
In so many
there was
ways.
a day that she came and she was here for like 4 hours because we thought that it was going to be the time to go in, and it ended up being a false labor again. But she was here really being very, very helpful for the time she was here.
And so I think it's so beneficial for the person that's pregnant, but also for the spouse, because I feel like there was also a good chunk that you learned from her as far as like how to support me, counter pressure, like everything that goes into it. So I feel like it was really helpful for everybody involved.
Yeah.
But also we have her coming a couple of times this month because she helped with labor, but also she's a postpartum doula.
Yeah.
And so she's able to assist us on some of the night shifts and things with Robin, and that's going to be huge too.
Insurance covered 6 sessions with her, but then we did.
I mean, every insurance is different, but
and then we signed something and filled something out so that we can get more.
Yeah, our midwife was able to get more for us.
So we were able to get like another 9.
Yeah.
So that's like 15 postpartum visits, which are really helpful. So
I will say like doula, but also what else did I do? Oh, I got my placenta encapsulated again, just like I did with our first, which was huge.
The doula did that,
but also our doula was able to do it. And so while she was there for delivery, she was able to just take the placenta home. We just signed it off, and then she had it back to us in a couple days ready to go.
Yeah.
And again, I felt like that's been super helpful. Like 4 or 5 days postpartum, I was getting some of the baby blues, and then it was like right around the time she dropped off the capsules, and I felt like things have, still come in waves. You're still gonna cry at random shit, but for all intents and purposes, I feel like that's helped a lot, and just me to feel a little bit normal again. So I would say those things, and then Mama Stay Fit. If you know anybody,
Training
if
for
you are
Two.
somebody.
By Gina Conley.
And she has their YouTube channel that they're constantly uploading things.
Yep.
So those, I would say, were like the big difference makers this pregnancy go around as opposed to the first.
There we go.
So that.
Perfect. We're gonna cut this because we can hear the anarchy happening inside our house because we were podcasting from our at-home studio in our garage.
Yep.
But we're happy that baby's here and healthy, as we can hear her. And happy that you're here and as healthy as you can be and getting healthier every day.
Yeah.
So we will be podcasting as much as we possibly can, given current life status, which is a lot of stuff going on. But we're going to make it work.
Yeah.
We're going to make it happen like we always do.
Yep.
So that being said, we appreciate y'all coming along for the journey. Now you are up to speed on everything that's going on with the pregnancy and the postpartum life.
So eventually we'll be back in the studio, but until then, we're in the garage.
Until then, we're
making
in the
garage.
Work. Exactly. I know. We'll be having guests back in the studio, but for right now, we could do these just the two of us in the garage. So like, subscribe, share, do all the fun things. And
ask your questions or any stories you have.
Yeah, what was your birthing experience like? Did it mirror a bit of what we experienced, or was it different? So sound off in the comments there. So that being said, this has been the Two Tired Parents Podcast. I'm Myles Weber.
I'm Heather Weber.
And we will see y'all next time.
Bye.